Hi folks, today we're going to be looking at the brand new VK6050s, which is a new smartphone from the Chinese, of course. What's special about it? Well, actually looking at it on the face of it, it's nothing unusual. It looks pretty innocent really, but pop the back off and you'll see that it has a huge 6050 milliamp hour battery. Now we're talking tablet-sized batteries in a phone. The biggest we've seen previous to this, personally, has been the THL 5000, which had a 5000 milliamp hour battery. This is bigger by a factor. So let's just run through quickly what's in the box before we go into the phone itself. You get a free dropsy thing here, which is quite valuable, I think, in a lot of ways. A nice little instruction manual. That's quite comprehensive then. Plus charge block, which is a 2 amp 5 volt charge block, USB charge block. You're going to need all of that to get that battery up to speed in any reasonable time. USB charge cable and headset. That's it, basic, but all you really need. So let's run through the specs, shall we? I mean, on the face of it, nothing spectacular. It's not even an octa-core. So it's a quad core running at 1 gigahertz, 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of internal memory, running Android 5.1. So it's running the latest Android. Let's just have a quick look just to show. And you know, 5.1. There you go. So it's not on the spec sheet. It looks like, well, what the heck are you, you know, because I really like this phone. It's a really nice phone for a number of reasons, but we'll carry on with the specs. So it's got GPS and all that kind of stuff. 1280 by 720 screen, again a 5.5 inch screen, which again is nothing spectacular. The one things I do like, and if I'm going to start talking about why I like this, the screen is very well proportioned inside the case, so you don't have a huge case, considering, you know, that aforementioned battery, huge battery. So you know, they've thought about the design extremely well. Now, so what's amazing is, of course, this battery which sits in here. It's non-removable. You can't take it out, but then I'm not sure you're going to want to. Dual SIM, dual standby at the top here, and a micro SD card slot, which will take up to 32 gigs. 13 megapixel camera at the back and 5 megapixels at the front. So that's really it. I've been using it for a while now, and the reason I really like this is it works. It's very hard to describe, but I mean, it just works. It doesn't overheat at all. I mean, yesterday I was driving back with it using sat-nav, Bluetooth transmission for the music onto the car stereo and everything like that, and it was as cool as a cucumber, so no overheating whatsoever. Nice screen, perfectly adequate, you know, nicely responsive, does all the bits you need, and it works. It's the 4G's fast, the Wi-Fi's fast, and if you want to know about battery life, this is better battery stats, and it's now reading, what's that, 4 days, 4 hours, and I've got 26% sitting up there in the taskbar. I feel a bit sorry for folks who's still struggling around with smartphones which run for half a day. The Chinese have wised up, you know, and the Android community is developing things that actually last, so you don't even worry about charging the thing anymore. You know, I've just had this sitting around and used it as I need to for calls and stuff, and I don't worry. Weekends don't matter a jot to me. Amazing. Now, of course, there is definitely a penalty to pay for having a slower processor, you know, only 1 gigahertz and stuff like that. But the two gigs of RAM help. But it's certainly not as fast in terms of paging in and stuff on the browser as the octa-cores that we've tested. So that's a downside. But again, in real terms, in using it every day, I'm not really sure that makes that much difference. And I'm willing to trade that for the battery life and the fact that it really does stay very cool in operation. I do find the octa-cores get quite hot. Now here's a little bit of gaming for you to see, you know, the graphics. Yeah, I mean, again, they're all much at this sort of level of performance as these newer MTK Android phones are. They're all pretty good. You know, you don't get the kind of slowdowns you used to get. So yeah, it's cool. It plays nicely, you know. What can I tell you, even when you crash. Maps also page in nicely, and the tiles are nice and prompt. The 2 gigs of RAM, of course, help a lot with that. Lock on sat nav is fast. I mean, there's no problem with that anymore. Although I have to say, it does wander a little still in sat nav mode. If you're stationary in traffic or you know, in a built-up area, until you get moving again, the satellite seems to wander. I'm not really sure why. I haven't really quite worked it out. There doesn't seem to be a lot of info out there on that. One of the nice features that it comes with as standard is what they call Smart Wake, which is where you set up a location through GPS, and at that point it will wake up without you having to go through the security, which I think is a really useful little function, and all phones should have it. You just set it up once, you tell it your home, office, and all other areas where, or even apps, you know, you can have it so set up so that when you're in the car and your Bluetooth is on, you know, it stays awake. So that's really cool, because it means that you don't have to fiddle around with security all the time, like if you're driving and need to answer a call and stuff. So Smart Wake is a definite winner. It also has the hot knot we've talked about before, which is the screen-to-screen image swapping, you know, so you can swap files from phone to phone, which is also a pretty cool thing. FM radio as well, so you know, you got the old trusties in here. Yeah, it's got some nice features. Very good on also the call quality, very crystal clear. I can hear and when I'm talking, and that's another plus point. So what about the camera, I hear you ask? Well, 13 megapixels is a decent enough camera. I never really expect too much from these standardized MTK kind of cameras, because, you know, let's face it, they are generic. But this one looks to be, you know, not bad. If you can see that, you know, it's actually picked up the detail okay. You're getting the reflection and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll do the usual samples up, of course, so you can take a look. But yeah, I'm actually more impressed than I would be with some others that I've tested in this light. The VK6050 from Vkworld then. So what's my opinion? I really like this phone. This is my favorite phone at the moment, because it is so forgettable. You know, you don't think about it at all. You don't think about charging. It works. It's fast when it needs to be with the 4G. The processor is perfectly adequate. The RAM's enough to run just about anything you want to throw at it. Yeah, that's my kind of phone. I don't need the frills, and I just want a working jobbing phone that doesn't get hot and doesn't give me any aggravation. And so far, this phone has turned up trumps. I can say it's a worthy contender for anybody's shopping list. The VK6050. As usual, if you enjoyed this review, please subscribe to the channel so we can bring you more cool stuff. Thanks very much.